All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling the very heartbeat of music, rhythm. We're going to crack the code on all those dots and lines so you can read and feel music in a whole new way.
Have you ever looked at a piece of sheet music and just thought, what am I even looking at? It just seems like some kind of secret code, right? Well, you're definitely not alone. But I'm going to let you in on a little secret. It's way simpler than it looks.
Because really, that's all it is. At its very heart, written rhythm is just a clever, simple system for organizing sound and silence. And that's exactly what we're going to get a handle on over the next few minutes. So, where do we even begin? Well, like with any language, we have to start with the alphabet. And in the language of rhythm, our alphabet is made up of notes, which are sounds, and their silent partners, rests. These are the absolute basics. Okay, so this chart right here, this is basically our Rosetta Stone for rhythm. It's called the note value pyramid, and the logic is beautiful in its simplicity. As you go down a level, each note is worth exactly half of the one above it. So one of those big whole notes splits into two half notes. One half note splits into two quarter notes. You see the pattern? It's perfect. Simple math. Let's start at the very top of that pyramid. You see that simple oval? That's a whole note. It's kind of the big boss, representing the longest standard duration. In most of the music you hear, you'd hold it for 4 full beats. Just a long, sustained sound. Now, let's zoom in on the note you're going to see more than any other. This is the quarter note. It is the steady, driving pulse of most music. It's the beat you tap your foot to without even thinking. In fact, go ahead, tap a steady beat on your desk right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. That steady pulse, that's the quarter note. And it's our anchor for pretty much everything else. Now here's something that's absolutely crucial to get. Music isn't just about the sounds you make, it's just as much about the silence between the sounds. For every note that makes a sound, there's a symbol for silence that has the exact same value. We call it a rest. A quarter note gets 1 beat of sound. A quarter rest gets 1 beat of silence. They're two sides of the same coin, and music is the dance between them. All right, so we've got our letters. Now it's time to start making words. And in music, we do that by tweaking and combining these basic notes to make rhythms that are way more interesting. Our first little trick is the dot. It's super simple. When you see a dot right after a note, it's just a little instruction that says, hey, take this note and add half of its original value to it. That's it. This one little dot is what creates those longer, kind of lilting, syncopated rhythms you hear all the time. So let's look at what that actually means. A quarter note, right, is normally worth 2 of those little eighth notes. The dot tells us to add half, so we add 1 more eighth note. The result? You get 1 single sound that lasts for the time of 3 eighth notes. You can hear the difference immediately. 2 quarter notes are even, tap, tap. But a dotted rhythm sounds like long, short. That little bit of extra length changes the whole feel. Now, another way to make a sound longer is with a tie. This little curved line connects 2 notes that are the exact same pitch. It basically just glues them together to create one seamless, longer sound. This is how musicians hold a note over the end of one measure and into the next. Okay, now for something really cool, the triplet. This is where we get to break that divide by 2 rule we've been following. With a triplet, you literally squeeze 3 notes into the space where you'd normally only play 2. Instead of a straight 1 and 2 and, you get that awesome rolling triplet feel. You hear it everywhere, from jazz to classical music. So we have all these rhythmic words now, notes, dots, triplets, but how do we organize them into sentences? We need a blueprint, and in music, that blueprint is the time signature. You have definitely seen this one before, 4/4. It's even nicknamed common time. So what do those numbers mean? It's really straightforward. The top number tells you how many beats are in each little box of music, or measure, so 4. The bottom number tells you what kind of note gets one of those beats. And that 4 on the bottom, that's code for our old friend, the quarter note. So 4/4 time just means 4 quarter note beats per measure. That's all there is to it. But here's the thing. It's not just about counting to 4 over and over. It's about the feel. And that feel is called meter. It's the natural pattern of strong and weak beats. In 4/4 time, the feel is strong, weak, medium, weak. If you're in 3/4 time, like a waltz, it's
strong, weak, weak. That repeating pulse is what gives music its groove.
You know a really great way to feel this in your body? Conducting patterns. The very first beat of any measure is called the downbeat, and it's always a strong downward motion. For 4/4 time, the pattern is down, across, over, and up. Go ahead, trace it in the air. You can literally feel where that strong beat lands. All right, you ready to go one level deeper? The overall feel of a meter also depends on how each of those main beats gets divided up. This gives us two big categories of rhythm: simple time and compound time. So what's the difference? It's all about how you split up the main beat. In simple time, each beat divides neatly into two smaller parts. You feel it as one and, two and. It's a very straightforward, marching kind of feel. But in compound time, each beat divides into three smaller parts. You feel it as one and a, two and a. And that's what gives it that distinctive rolling or swaying quality. Let's compare two time signatures to really hear what I'm talking about. Take 3/4 time, that's a simple meter. 3 beats felt as 1, 2, 3. That's your classic waltz. Now, listen to 6/8 time. It's compound. We feel it as two main beats, but each of those beats is divided into three parts. One and a, two and a. Think of an Irish jig or a swaying lullaby. It's a completely different groove.
Okay, theory is great, I know. But let's look at how all these ideas actually show up in a real piece of music. Because really, these rules are just tools for musicians to use to express themselves. Let's check out this thing called an anacrusis, though you'll probably hear it called a pickup. These are simply notes that come before the first official strong beat of a phrase. So why do that? It's all about creating anticipation. It's like a little running start that leads you right into the main melody. Here's a perfect example: March of the Tin Soldiers. The piece doesn't just start on the big, strong one of the first measure. It actually begins with that little pickup note right before it, which is what gives the march that feeling of forward momentum right out of the gate. And just like that, what might have once looked like a confusing, secret code is now a language you can start to understand. You've got the keys. Note values, rests, dots, time signatures. These are all the parts of the engine that drives music forward. So here's my challenge to you. The next time you listen to your favorite song, listen a little closer. Can you find the pulse? Can you tell if it has that straight, simple feel or that rolling, compound feel? Rhythm really is the language of time and music. And now that you can read it, what new things are you going to hear?